She lies still in the darkness, not daring to make a single sound. For hours she had lay awake in her pitch-black room, shivering with terror. She held herself tightly as to not ruffle the sheets, which she gripped with vice-like strength. She chewed on her tongue as to ensure that her teeth not chatter, ignoring the taste of her own warm, salty blood. She dared not make the softest whisper for fear of unsettling the beast which sat in the corner of her chamber. She awoke hours ago to a faint breeze, which tingled down her spine, rattling her core, and suddenly was shook by a hot burst of air rushing around her skin. The shock of the chill and sudden burn startled her as she awoke to the sight of bright yellow-green eyes that watched over her that night. For hours now, she had gripped her sheets, depressed on her tongue, and has been sweating drops of terror from her skin. She felt the heavy yellow glow press down upon her like a megaton, watching her cower under her soft quilt. She began to grow tired, and her eyelids dropped, and she was finally at rest for the first time in hours. When she opened her eyes again, the yellow light blinded her, and without a sound, her demonic intruder was face to face with her. In this moment, she shrieked out a primal scream of sheer terror, which the creature bathed in with great pleasure, as it seemed to feed on her very fear. The next morning she awoke perfectly fine, as if nothing had occurred that night. She assured herself it was simply a nightmare. As she stood up, she realized that the window was open, and in that moment she felt the cold breeze that awoke her last night. And that's when she saw the claw marks which scratched her window frame and ran up and down the bricks of the side of her house. She took a deep breath and prepared to let out a scream like the scream she unleashed that night, but to her horror, she was incapable of uttering a single sound. The creature had devoured her voice.